Tonight on CTV News at 6, months out, Edmonton's mayoral race makes headlines. The heat increases on a prominent candidate.
That leaves huge open opportunities in this race.
Edmonton leads the province in opioid deaths.
There was carfentanil in his drug, and that's a death sentence.
And entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs cook up business in Old Strathcona.
Our goal is to make it easy for them, make it accessible, and kind of meet people where they're at.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. City Council may be on summer break, but certain councillors cannot escape the political heat. The lead up to the pause in proceedings at City Hall was contentious as a fall election looms. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, recent events have one frontrunner for mayor on the defensive.
The lead up to Council's summer break put a spotlight on City Hall. More than 100 Edmontonians showed up for a public hearing on infill housing, a crowd one political watcher believes was motivated by a pledge from mayoral candidate Tim Cartmell to pause mid-block infill projects.
It is not permitted under the Municipal Government Act, and we learned after the fact that city staff did send him a memo to that effect well in advance of him making the motion. So that does reek of sort of rank politics.
Eventually, Council did make major changes to infill rules, but those votes happened July 8th. A couple of days into the scheduled summer break. One motion to cut the mid-block infill maximum from 8 units to 6 failed by one vote.
This was a rare opportunity for this reduction on infill to occur. And it needs the Conservative bloc to pass. Two members of the Conservative bloc, Sarah Hamilton and Tim Cartmell, opted not to show up.
Councillor Michael Jans made that motion. He's been hearing about its failure on the campaign trail.
I was at a house that had a Neighbours United sign, and they were really mad that Cartmell didn't show up.
Some candidates running under Cartmell's Better Edmonton banner also wanted to see the unit reduction approved. Nicholas Rubottom is a past executive of an infill advocacy group, telling CTV News, "I saw it as a necessary step to build trust with residents while ensuring that infill continues in a way that respects neighborhood character." Cartmell's campaign manager confirms the councillor is unavailable for comment, but Alex Haritsu says Better Edmonton candidates are encouraged to speak their mind, adding municipal parties were not designed to have whipped votes or party lines. Still, Pavlik believes the leader's missteps on infill have opened the door for challengers.
At the very least, you have a bunch of disenfranchised Tim Cartmell voters who are saying, I want someone who will actually stand up for something, and that leaves huge open opportunities in this race.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Edmonton-area woman is calling on police in the province to issue public safety alerts about the tainted drug supply on Edmonton streets. Her son died from carfentanil earlier this year. CTV's Nicole Lampa has more.
Karen Cadu says her 42-year-old son, Stephen Klein's drug addiction began 20 years ago after his dad died from cancer and brother was killed at a house party.
I just found it too much, and so began his journey.
Cadu says Stephen used crystal meth and found a way to recover. He joined the Navy and went to university, but then COVID hit and the isolation became too much. Cadu says he died from an overdose in March. She believes Stephen would not have used that day had he known it was laced with a substance 100 times stronger than fentanyl.
There was carfentanil in his drug, and that's a death sentence.
In March, 87 opioid-related deaths were recorded in the Edmonton area, the most since 2016 when the province began tracking them. The figure is up dramatically compared to the other health regions in Alberta. It's also higher than Lower Mainland BC's figure from the same month, which includes both Vancouver and Fraser Valley, with triple the population size. The province or police are unable to explain why more carfentanil deaths are happening in the Edmonton area. The press secretary for Alberta's Minister of Mental Health and Addiction says the ministry is concerned by the increase in carfentanil-related deaths in Edmonton. The illegal drug market fluctuates, and we cannot predict specific changes in a given market or target one substance specifically. A family doctor who treats people with drug addiction says many factors are behind the tainted street drug supply. She says encampment sweeps can cause users to lose contact with suppliers they know, while large drug busts may force dealers to bring in something new, and she expects carfentanil deaths in Edmonton to rise even more.
The sirens are going off a lot, and certainly have seen zero abatement of that trend.
Edmonton police say they've issued alerts about carfentanil dating back to 10 years ago.
We do put out public awareness of the unique stuff that we're seeing. Carfentanil has been around for a number of times, and there has been information pushed out about it.
Me and 86 other families are grieving since March. That's a crisis. I've never seen a notice about it. I've never seen an emergency report about this contaminated drug supply. We need to do better.
April's data on opioid deaths is expected to be released in about a month. Nicole Lampa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta and Ottawa are spending millions of dollars on new affordable housing units across the province. More than $200 million will go toward 25 projects of more than 2,300 units. Some of the money earmarked for Edmonton will be used on housing for young adults and students living downtown. Alberta's Assisted Living and Social Services Minister says the money will help Alberta reach its goal of creating 82,000 affordable units by 2031.
This investment is critical to ensuring that low-income individuals in our province have access to safe, quality housing to be able to make sure that they can live their best lives in the province of Alberta.
The Federal Prairie's Economic Development Minister says the agreement will also create jobs as the projects get underway. Food entrepreneurs in Edmonton have a new space to showcase their brands. It's a rotating food hub on White Avenue. CTV's Merrick Takash reports.
Peter Keith is the brains behind the hub on White.
We've created a platform for food entrepreneurs to host pop-ups, to test drive their business, to operate on shorter-term flexible basis rather than signing their own lease.
Keith owns Muley's on 124th Street and has regularly offered pop-up opportunities to smaller businesses. Today marks opening day for his new experiment.
Restaurants are very expensive to open. Food entrepreneurs need to raise a lot of money and make a pretty long-term commitment to have their own place, to have their own location. So the hub is meant to help bridge that gap.
The goal is to offer a helping hand to food entrepreneurs so they can eventually open their own location.
We will be pretty flexible on how we work with companies. So some people might want to do this for a month. Some people might want to do it for 6 months. We've had talks with people who want to do a one-weekend pop-up. So our goal is to make it easy for them, make it accessible, and kind of meet people where they're at.
2 restaurants are currently using the space.
For sure until the end of August. So it might be a little limited thing, but hoping we can also maybe continue into the fall.
Beb's Bagels has been bouncing around from kitchen to kitchen over the past few years. They're excited to have somewhat of a home base for the summer.
It's pretty hard to be a small business and especially a restaurant, and taking on the responsibility of a brick and mortar is very daunting. So having this shared space in such a great location for a business like Beb's Bagels is pretty incredible and a rare opportunity, so we had to take it.
Ballet Coffee and Beb's Bagels experienced a busy first day on White Avenue.
It's places where they might not always have the ability to be out in the public, coming to, be to the public.
As of now, there's no timeline for turnover at the hub, but Keith says there has been lots of interest. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
After years with the Oilers, Edmonton's skating coach is joining the Dallas Stars. David Peltier spent 11 years with Edmonton. He worked with the players to increase their skating performance and help with their off-ice training. Prior to that, he was a highly decorated figure skater, winning several championships, including gold at the 2002 Winter Olympics. Peltier's new role will be an assistant coach with the Stars, but will not serve on the bench, but up in the press box. He joins Glenn Galutzin's coaching staff, who was an assistant coach with the Oilers before being hired as head coach this summer. The Oilers will be down a Skinner next season. Jeff Skinner has signed a one-year deal worth $3 million with the San Jose Sharks. Last season, the 33-year-old scored 16 goals and 29 points for the Oilers. He added 2 points in 5 playoff games. Over 15 seasons and more than 1,000 games, Skinner has scored 699 points. Parts of K-Country are under a bear warning after a hiker encountered a grizzly that gave a clear warning to back off. Alberta Park says the bear bluff charged at the hiker on Tuesday on the Bill Milne Trail between Wedge Pond and Mount Allen Drive. The bear warning is in effect until further notice. People heading to the mountains this weekend should know a buffalo berry season has started. That means it's important to make lots of noise on the trail so you don't surprise a bear that's feasting. Hiking in groups is recommended. Pets need to stay on leash, and you should bring bear spray that you know how to use. 2 great horned owls are being nursed back to health in Edmonton. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, staff at Wild North have seen an increase in the number of owls needing care this year.
The great horned owl is known as one of the best predators in the animal kingdom, a reputation this guy can't quite live up to at the moment. It's believed the owl was hit by a car.
I think owls, with their ability to turn their heads almost all the way around, would see a car coming. But unfortunately for these guys, their eyes are fixed in their sockets, so they don't have peripheral vision like we do, and this is why they turn that head around. So when these guys are focused on a mouse on the other side of the road, they're coming down at it, they can't see the cars coming from either direction.
Can I just cover it for a second, if that's okay? Just we want to help reduce stress.
The owl suffered an eye injury and required a bone pinning surgery on its wing.
Where we repaired the humerus, which is a long bone in the wing of the owl, was severely fractured, and so we do a bone pin to stabilize the fracture with an external fixator.
The pin was recently removed, and the owl on cage rest at Wild North. Today, it was fitted for a new tail guard to prevent damage to its tail feathers.
Because generally, if you picture an owl out in the wild, they're going to be on a branch. Their tail feathers are hanging kind of below the branch. They're not running on the ground, of course. And so with these guys in their enclosures, we want to put that tail guard on to protect their tail feathers.
This young owl is also at Wild North because of a skin condition. So far this year, 15 great horned owls have needed help from rehabilitation staff, almost double the number last year.
Mostly, the population of owls directly correlates to the food source, and so we have more mice, we're going to have more owls. We've had a huge influx of rodent population in 2024, and as we get more hares and larger prey species that these guys like to eat, we're going to see more great horned owls.
This owl still needs help eating, but staff say he's getting better every day. Eventually, it will get moved to an enclosure like this one, where it can gradually build up its wing muscles.
Pinning a wing like this is always a dicey endeavor. We have to monitor them. They have to go through a rehabilitation process. We have to ensure that they can fly and hunt perfectly before being released back into the wild.
Given the owl's progress so far, there's optimism it will eventually be able to be released. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, checking on weather now. It's a nice and occasionally noisy evening for Josh, who's out at Rador Raceway for us. Josh.
Yeah, it's Rocky Mountain Nationals this weekend down here at Rador, just south of the city. Just doing opening ceremonies right now. And there will be an evening and then a weekend full of racing. So, if you like speed, you like the rumble of engines, this is probably where you want to be through the course of this weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about all the stuff going on this weekend with Rob Vavrick from Rador Raceway in just a couple minutes. It is going to be a hot weekend, at least to start. It was a hot one today, 27 degrees right now, and that is our daytime high, 25s outside the city. The wind has kind of died down a little bit. It was gusting to about 30, 35 kilometers per hour earlier in the day. Right now, no gusts, just wind out of the west at about 15 kilometers per hour. 24 is the average for this time of year, so 3 degrees back above average today and should be in the same ballpark tomorrow, somewhere around 26 or 27 for a daytime high. I do think it's going to be considerably milder tomorrow morning than the 11 degrees we woke up to today, because we've got some cloud that's set to spill through. After a sunny day, a little bit of cloud moving through right now, but you can see from Whitecourt off to the west-northwest, there is some thicker cloud cover, and we do have some showers, not only in northwestern Alberta, but in northeastern parts of the province. Those showers around Grand Prairie, somewhere around midnight, we may see them spill through the Edmonton-area. It doesn't look like anything heavy, but a risk of a few scattered showers overnight. Then some clearing for tomorrow, back to sunshine, gusty in the afternoon, and a high of 27. Few scattered showers in the forecast for Sunday, especially in the morning. We'll talk more about that and bring you back down here to the Rocky Mountain Nationals at Rador Raceway, all later in the newscast. Jeff.
Sounds great. Thanks, Josh. Coming up, Alberta adds tens of thousands of jobs.
We see this as really Calgary having a resilient economy and really a diversified economy.
Plus, art on the Ave. White Avenue is becoming one big gallery.
The beauty of Art Walk is just to go for a walk and discover the artists that are here.
The art event celebrating a milestone year. The U.S. president is threatening to hit Canada with 35% tariffs beginning next month. This latest tariff threat is also a serious concern here in Alberta. While energy is our largest export to the United States, Alberta beef and dairy producers are also potentially at risk. CTV's Stephanie Thomas reports.
Mike Haney brought one of his Jersey cows from his Didsbury-area dairy farm to the Calgary Stampede. He says all the milk, cheese, cream, and curds produced are sold in central Alberta. Now it seems U.S. President Trump wants in.
I've always said this as a dairy farmer. To me, it's the biggest joke. We're supply managed. That means we manage the supply that people demand.
Trump singled out dairy in his Thursday letter, threatening a 35% tariff on Canadian products as of August 1st and saying American dairy hardly gets a chance in Canada. However, for Alberta beef, the Canadian market isn't enough.
We export a large percentage of our beef to the U.S. and to other parts of the world, but the tariffs are definitely going to affect us for sure.
He says he's optimistic provincial and federal leaders will protect Alberta beef amid ongoing trade negotiations.
As long as we don't run into any, strange import-export issues, it should be pretty strong, hopefully.
As Alberta exported $160 billion worth of products to the U.S. last year, most of it oil, Alberta's Liberal cabinet minister is focused on protecting the economy.
We are looking at tariff relief programs that will be applicable to businesses in particular.
International trade experts say Canadian energy is already seeing a 10% tariff, and goods that are compliant with the existing trade agreement should be spared.
The question now is, does that number increase to 35%, and does the exemption still apply?
Alberta's premier posted on social media against the latest tariff threat, but only mentioned the energy sector as needing support. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Unemployment in Alberta dropped last month, dipping below the national rate. Alberta saw the largest drop of any province, bringing the jobless rate to 6.8%. June's report shows 83,000 jobs were added last month, bringing the unemployment rate lower to 6.9%. 30,000 of those jobs are from Alberta. Edmonton's rate rose slightly to 7.5%. While this shows resiliency in the face of U.S. tariffs, it's not all good news as one group still struggles to find work. CTV's Tyler Barrow reports.
Our city is showing signs of growth after 5,500 jobs were created last month, according to Statistics Canada. In June, the city's unemployment rate fell to 7.4%, down from 7.8% in May.
We see this as really Calgary having a resilient economy and really a diversified economy.
The information sector, culture, which includes film and recreation, and manufacturing saw the most job growth. The province is also on the upswing. The unemployment rate was 6.8%, down from May's 7.4%, which was lower than the national average of 6.9%. This, one of the few times we have seen this since 2016, according to ATB's deputy chief economist.
So many people have been coming here that it's been hard to keep up. So we've got a little bit of a break with slower population growth.
But it's not all good news on the jobs front. The youth unemployment rate is still high, sitting at 16.4% provincially. 15-year-old Yusuf Bako, employed during the Stampede, knows the struggle.
Right now it's Stampede season, so I think it's really easy around here. But otherwise, for young people, people don't think young people have a lot of potential.
But some are looking at whether unemployment will continue to dip as Trump and tariffs keep throwing uncertainty into the markets.
U.S. tariff announcement of 35% tariffs on non-CUSMA compliant goods coming from Canada into the United States. We'll have to see.
We haven't actually had the tariffs, but more is coming. So calm before the storm is the way I would see the June report.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Rock fans have packed into the Northlands exhibition grounds for the Rock and Thunder Music Festival. This is a live shot of the festival from the CTV drone. It kicked off earlier this afternoon. Rocker Bret Michaels from Poison is on the stage right now. Def Leppard is the headliner tonight. Weezer headlines Saturday night. Other acts include the Stone Temple Pilots, Joan Jett, and Sam Roberts Band. Tickets can be bought on the music festival's website. Edmonton's annual White Avenue Art Walk is back this weekend for its 30th anniversary. 460 artists have registered for this year's event. The Art Walk showcases the artists' processes, materials, and inspiration behind their pieces as they create art right on site. It spans a large portion of Old Strathcona from McIntyre Park to 109th Street.
The beauty of Art Walk is just to go for a walk and discover the artists that are here and, see what catches your eye, have a chat with the artist, get to know them.
The White Ave Art Walk is one of the oldest, largest, and longest-running art walks in Alberta. Still to come, a Calgary couple is going viral for their two-step.
It was spontaneous. We were already out there. It was coming down, and I think I said we should dance in that puddle, and so we just started doing it.
Now, an impromptu moment has brought this couple even closer.
After a sunny and hot day today, there's a little bit of thin cloud cover moving in. It's overnight tonight, though, that the thickest clouds and the chance of showers comes into play. Back to some sunshine and some heat for tomorrow, though. Back with your forecast after the break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
A spontaneous moment at the Calgary Stampede is capturing hearts online. A Calgary couple was caught on camera dancing in the rain, unbeknownst to them. CTV's Mark Villani has more on how their two-step is spreading joy well beyond the Midway.
Caught in a stampede downpour, Benjamin McMurray and Sarah McDougall couldn't help but dance. Outside Nashville North last Sunday, the music kept going, and so did they. Their two-step through the puddles, filmed by a stranger, both of them completely unaware.
Nothing clears out a dance floor like a good rainstorm, so it actually worked out perfectly. We had lots of room to dance and just kind of practice our moves.
It was spontaneous. We were already out there. It was coming down, and I think I said we should dance in that puddle, and so we just started doing it.
I like how your hair dips into the water, too. That was funny.
The video has now been viewed more than 800,000 times, some calling it the perfect Stampede love story.
That's wild because I didn't expect that at all. I had no idea that was going to happen, but I keep seeing the views go up and up and up. It's crazy.
Believe it or not, this is actually our first rodeo.
The pair has only been together just a couple months after meeting through friends on a trip to Ghost Lake. Some of their first memories together, riding Ben's motorbike.
She was crazy enough to jump on the back of the Harley and come out with me. So after I threw her in the lake, and she wasn't sick of me then, so we just kind of kept seeing each other.
Their story and their spirits now striking a chord with people far beyond the fairgrounds.
And I love that everybody dresses country and gets out and everyone's in a good mood and people are dancing, and it's a really good time. I always enjoy it.
And for this couple, it's not just about music or moments, it's about who you share them with.
Life is not always purely sunshine, so if you can find those people that are willing to dance through the rain with you, keep those people around.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
It's a nice night to be outside here. Josh is at Rador Raceway, where a big weekend is underway.
Yeah, huge weekend, biggest weekend of the year as far as Rador Raceway is concerned. Rocky Mountain Nationals, but why don't I let the guy who has all the answers, we'll wait for that to calm down. The guy with all the answers, Rob Vavrick with Rador Raceway here with me. It's a loud weekend, but a packed weekend for you guys.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest drag racing events in all of Canada. 3 days of nonstop racing, professional racers from across North America, alcohol funny cars, nitro funny cars, fuel-altered bikes, professionally modified vehicles, the pinnacle jet cars. We've got the world's fastest truck, a twin-engine 57 Chev that will do about 300 miles an hour in a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, it's like over 500 kilometers per hour, which is unbelievable. I mean, if you love racing, this is where you want to be this weekend. There's lots to do aside from just watching the racing, though.
Absolutely. You don't have to be a major car,
You could say nerd. It's okay. We embrace that term.
It'd be nice. You don't have to be a car fanatic to enjoy the weekend. There's food vendors. There's all kinds of other stuff to see. A ticket to the facility is a ticket to the pits. You can get up really nice and close to the cars, the racers, see the engines, take pictures. It's a real family festive atmosphere.
Yeah, and if you haven't been down close to some of these cars while they're making sounds like that, the feel that you get almost wants it'll turn you into a bit of a racing fan.
Yeah, you'll feel the earth move.
Okay, hours for racing.
We are tonight till probably about 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. right through till 9 p.m., maybe even a little later. Sunday, 10 to 5.
And you're expecting about 5,000 people tomorrow?
Probably more than that.
There you go. Well, especially now because everybody that saw this wants to come down here. Rob, thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun this weekend. Weather's going to be really nice for most outdoor activities, unless you got something planned for early Sunday morning. There's also a slight chance overnight tonight, but I don't know how many of you are outside at midnight or 1 a.m. tonight. Action Furnace, River Valley Skycam is brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right over, it's free. It's 27 degrees right now, and you can see that thin cloud cover filtering in. I'm telling you, it is still hot, though, and the sun is still the dominant feature in the sky. 27 in Fort McMurray, 24 in Grand Prairie, and 25 in Red Deer. Those are your highs for today. Here in Edmonton, we outdid that, 27 degrees. Cold Lake was a degree warmer as well, 28. Got some showers around Fort McMurray. There's that little bit of cloud cover now sliding out the east end of the Edmonton region. We're going to get a bit of a break, and then that thicker cloud cover from Whitecourt back through the Grand Prairie area, that comes through late this evening. And those showers up around Grand Prairie, now the timing on this looks like about midnight or 1 a.m. Doesn't look like it's going to be super heavy rain, but a pretty decent chance of seeing at least some showers in the area. Heavier rain from high level east towards Fort McMurray. In fact, that rain probably sticks around right through most of the morning hours in Fort McMurray, whereas here in Edmonton, clouds will clear out really early tomorrow, and so mainly sunny and back up to about 26 or 27 tomorrow afternoon. There's your chance of showers for early Sunday morning. Take a look at the timeline at the top there of your screen. 4 a.m. some showers. By about 8 or 9 in the morning, I think most, if not all of that rain is now already off to the south and east of us, and we'll get to a mix of sun and cloud for the afternoon. It will be a little cooler. We'll be back into the low to mid 20s, it looks like, for Sunday, but certainly not a rain out for Sunday. 24 in Red Deer, 21 in Grand Prairie, and 27 in Edmonton right now. And as we mentioned, the wind has died down after some gusts earlier in the day today. It's coming back for tomorrow, though. 16 degrees tomorrow morning. 27 for a high tomorrow afternoon, and wind from lunchtime through the afternoon hours gusting to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour. Low to mid 20s for Sunday, low to mid 20s Monday, Tuesday, with a chance of a few more showers on Monday, and then back into the mid to upper 20s through the middle to the end of next week. So that's a pretty good looking forecast for any outdoor activities that you have planned this weekend, including if you want to come down here to Rador Raceway for Rocky Mountain Nationals. Jeff?
All right. Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, more tariff threats from Donald Trump.
Frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases.
U.S. President threatening to hit Canada with 35% tariffs starting next month. Plus,
first homecoming show in 16 years, so I'm all for it.
British rock band Oasis makes its much-anticipated return home to play in Manchester for 5 shows.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Federated Co-ops. Find your summer sweepstakes. Unlock your chances to win at your local co-op.
The U.S. president is threatening to hit Canada with 35% tariffs beginning next month. The two countries have been working on a trade deal for months, but less than 2 weeks before the deadline announced by the Prime Minister, the president is not only doubling down, he's upping his threat. As CTV's Colton Prail reports, it has some wondering if a deal is even possible.
After weeks of pushing for a trade deal, Canada is staring down an even bigger threat.
Frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases. So
President Donald Trump now says he'll put in place 35% tariffs beginning August 1st. The White House says it wouldn't apply to energy tariffs or goods covered by the free trade agreement, but the president hasn't confirmed that.
we're going to see. It was sent yesterday. They called. I think it was fairly well received, but it's what we need So we'll see what happens.
While some critics say the Liberals need to follow through on the elbows up mantra, Ottawa argues it is.
Canada is the only country on earth, along with China, that has imposed so many counter tariffs. So we have had already a very strong response.
Canada didn't retaliate when Trump increased tariffs on steel and aluminum and gave up billions foregoing collection of the digital sales tax after the president ended trade talks over the issue.
Carney's keeping his mind very much on the end game, which is to secure that economic and security framework with the United States.
Since last month, Canada's target for a trade deal has shifted. July 16th quickly became July 21st. And now Canada says the new target is August 1st, before counter tariffs will be applied. But it's the day before that deadline that could make all the difference. That's when the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide if Trump's executive order tariffs are legal.
The last possible hope for Canada. We can't trust a deal with the president. Our only hope is the courts or Congress. And if we lose the courts, well, then we know where we stand.
The court decision won't impact tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, or copper, all of which were applied under a different measure. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
Goods that comply with the existing trade agreement with the U.S. will not be affected by the new tariff threat, but that isn't doing much to clear up confusion over just how big of a hit the Canadian economy could take. CTV's Abigail Beeman takes a closer look.
It's just so much fun.
The treasure bin at Rainbow Minerals may be fun. The trade war's impact on the small beading and jewelry supply business is not. American products are 25% more expensive, and they've stopped shipping south because the paperwork is too much. Ash Charania says there's lots of confusion and little help, with the new 35% threat making things worse.
The small businesses are being put in the middle as a pawn. And in the game of chess, those are the pieces that are thrown to the side to get to the bigger picture.
And they determine whether your goods qualify as.
The federal government does offer a guide and CUSMA compliance support phone line, though many don't seem to know about it.
The constant changing of the goalposts and the deadlines and the numbers continues, and that's quite toxic for business.
According to U.S. trade data, in 2024, only 38% of Canadian goods entered the U.S. under CUSMA, while RBC estimates 94% of Canadian exports were actually eligible. Experts say it's a matter of businesses not wanting to deal with the paperwork headache, as well as a lack of enforcement at the border.
Perhaps they thought the juice wasn't worth the squeeze because we were still getting into the United States duty and tariff-free. That is no longer the case, and so it is very vital that businesses do it.
In terms of the small list of products not covered by CUSMA, they include a few agricultural goods and some textiles, and others that don't meet the rules of origin requirements.
The vast majority of Canadian exports do qualify for tariff and duty-free to the United States.
Experts say getting that CUSMA certification is crucial as everyone waits to see what President Trump's final decision on tariffs may be. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
It looks like many Canadians are digging in their heels when it comes to staying away from U.S. products. According to new data from Nanos Research, most Canadians view their boycotts on U.S. goods and travel as temporary. But nearly half of the respondents say they'll outlast the Trump White House. The Canadians were surveyed on issues ranging from trade war to automotive tariffs and defense spending. For the second time in 2 months, Manitoba is under a province-wide state of emergency.
The primary reason that we have called this latest state of emergency is because we need access to more facilities to be able to shelter this large number of Manitobans who are being forced to flee their homes due to wildfires.
Wildfires have forced around 12,000 people to flee their homes and shelter at arenas and convention centers. This is the worst wildfire season in Manitoba's history, with more than 1 million hectares of land already burned, 11 times worse than the yearly average. state of emergency has been declared in the northern Saskatchewan community of Pachunak. Some residents are waiting to be flown to safety. The community isn't under a direct wildfire threat, but the only road in has been closed for nearly 2 weeks because of wildfire. That has led to concerns about limited food, water, and power. Oasis fans in the United Kingdom lined up early today, excited for the long-awaited return of the Gallagher brothers to their hometown.
We've still got 5 hours till the band comes on, but it's all worth it. It's part of the day. First homecoming show in 16 years, so I'm all for it.
It has been 16 years since Oasis played in Manchester, and fans are flying from around the world to see the band play. They're putting on 5 shows in their hometown. Oasis kicked off their Live 25 tour last Friday in Cardiff. The band will tour the UK for much of the summer, including another 5 shows after this at Wembley Stadium in London. Its only Canadian stop is in Toronto for 2 shows at the end of August. Still ahead, a new text message scam is now circulating, mimicking a speeding ticket.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link.
More on how AI is changing how some people can detect scams. And there's a live look at Edmonton on a beautiful Friday evening. Downtown in the background, in the foreground, that is the Rock and Thunder concert series, off to a start now for a few hours. Bret Michaels from Poison has already played. Joan Jett is up next. Stay with us. Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar closed at 73 cents U.S. That's unchanged from yesterday. Crude oil is up $1.88, $68.45 U.S. a barrel. Gold is up by $38. On the stock exchange, the TSX down 59 points. Also down, the Dow Jones by 279. One person is in serious condition in hospital after a helicopter crash near Lacombe on Sunday. The Transportation Safety Board says the helicopter took off near Panther River, traveling to an airstrip in Lacombe County. It was in the air for about 45 minutes before it crashed. A 54-year-old woman from Benalto died. The 63-year-old pilot suffered life-threatening injuries.
Aviation is a safe mode of transportation. Each accident is really unique, which is why it's important for us to look at all the circumstances of the event.
The TSB says the investigation is in its early stages and new information may not be available for a couple of months. Edmonton has recorded 1 new measles case, but Calgary has seen its biggest increase in measles cases since outbreaks began in March. There are 17 new cases in Alberta, with 8 of them in Calgary. Infectious disease experts have warned big summer gatherings like Stampede could become super spreader events. Anyone not fully vaccinated is advised to skip large events or be very cautious if attending. Health experts say more people have become sick due to a salmonella outbreak in salami, and most of them are in Alberta. The Public Health Agency of Canada says 2 more people have been hospitalized due to tainted Rehab brand Genoa salami sweet, Rehab brand Genoa salami hot, and Bona brand mild Genova salami. A total of 84 people have gotten sick. 67 of them are in Alberta. One additional illness is someone from BC who became sick after traveling to our province. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency recalled the products on June the 10th. There's a new warning about scam text messages, which may be popping up on more phones. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao on so-called smishing attacks.
The latest warning comes from the Competition Bureau, which says more people have been seeing those annoying scam texts pop up, claiming to be from agencies like Revenue Canada, or that you owe money for a toll highway, often including a link that scammers are trying to get you to click on. Janine Compton recently got one claiming she was caught speeding and had to pay a fine, and initially thought it might be real.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link. I did not click. I just blocked the number.
Compton was the target of a scam known as SMS phishing or smishing. The texts often claimed to be from an actual organization or business. And while they used to contain things like spelling errors, making them easier to spot, AI services like ChatGPT are making them harder to detect.
Spelling mistakes used to be a tell, particularly when people had to write these messages themselves, and often it was people who didn't necessarily speak English as their first language.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre warns AI can also allow messages to be sent out at a faster rate and warns scammers are using AI to scrape information about you from the internet.
Some of the messages may include some of your personal information as an extra way to try to convince you that it's a legitimate message, right?
The advice, never click on suspicious links, ignore texts even if asked to reply with stop or no, and forward spam text to 7726 or spam. And of course, delete them to avoid accidental interaction. But as AI technology continues to improve, more people may fall victim, which is why the Anti-Fraud Centre and others want everyone to remain vigilant. John Valley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's biggest theme park is opening a record-breaking roller coaster this weekend. Visitors to Canada's Wonderland north of Toronto will be able to ride Alpenfury starting Saturday. The ride is billed as the longest, tallest, fastest launch roller coaster in the country. It will also have pyrotechnics. Alpenfury is the park's 18th roller coaster. It will reach speeds of 115 kilometers per hour. Still ahead, there are bad days, and then there are bad days.
Come on! I just got attacked by a cougar.
A series of unfortunate events on Vancouver Island.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
A Vancouver Island hiker's recent backcountry ordeal is a reminder to anyone heading to the mountains this summer about the importance of being prepared. CTV's Andy Garland has his story of a cougar attack, a bear encounter, and car trouble.
Come on! I just got attacked by a cougar.
It was getting ready to pounce on me.
Dylan Beaumier says a cougar was stalking him while he set up camp as he was making his hike down from Della Falls in Strathcona Park.
I pulled out my knife and my bear spray. I started yelling.
At first light, he made his way back to his vehicle on a remote logging road. And as he tried to drive back to civilization, his car broke down in the middle of nowhere.
The oil pan had struck a rock and it was bleeding out oil and it got stuck in the mud.
Knowing there's no help coming for possibly days, Dallin got to work, cutting sections of muffler and using 2 spare tires and some branches. He built a makeshift wagon to carry his essentials.
I've been doing search and rescue for 6 years, and I have never seen anyone with the ingenuity that he had.
If fighting off a cougar wasn't enough, Dallin also had a run-in with a black bear.
His face was looking at me right through the woods, and I was just like, hey, get going. It's over 30 degrees.
Battling the heat, Dallin finally made it back to the Della Falls trailhead at the end of Great Central Lake and boarded a water taxi.
He gave me a ride out for free back to Port Alberni.
Looking to recover some of the items he left behind, Dallin walked into the Alberni Valley Rescue Squad's hall, but little did he know a search was underway for him.
First thing I asked him was just, what's your name? And when he said Dallin, I was like, we've been out looking for you.
Before Dallin's hike, he left a detailed trip plan and notified family members, if they didn't hear from him within 5 to 7 days, to contact the authorities.
A trip plan is probably the most vital piece of information that you can leave with someone.
The 5-day hike, which turned into an 8-day adventure, hasn't deterred Dallin from exploring the backcountry.
Nature always throws curveballs. Like, you think you know a lot, and every single time you go out, you get humbled.
But next time, he says, he'll bring a GPS. Andy Garland, CTV News, the Alberni Valley.
And that's our show. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or the CTV channel on YouTube. That's it.